Yeah, hi, my name is Wayne Nelson. I am a worship pastor as well as addiction and recovery pastor at a church in Three Hills, Alberta called Mount Olive Evangelical Free Church. I am, I guess, a recovering alcoholic. I'm also a recovering pornography and sex addict. I've been free from alcohol for, it'll be 6 years in March. So that's pretty amazing. And I've been free from pornography and masturbation for just over 3 years. So it's been an amazing journey, and I now have the opportunity to work alongside other men who are struggling with the same things that God has given me freedom from. I think probably there's a few words that would describe. Shame would be one. When you're in church leadership and a father and a husband and caught up in addiction, there's a lot of shame that goes with it. So there's a lot of secrets. There's loss of trust. There was obviously physically, I was a mess. So I would say those are probably a few things that would describe how I felt during that time. I think it had just gotten so bad that I was drinking all day, every day, and it wasn't. It was getting more and more difficult to keep it a secret. And again, I would say mentally, emotionally, physically, I was a mess, and I was incapable of functioning, and I was not sleeping. I was driven by anxiety, depression, and people around me that I knew or felt were not supposed to know about my addiction were finding out. And the toughest one, of course, was my wife and my kids. I ended up going to rehab, and so that was a very a scary but awesome journey. And I was taught the tools, or given the tools that I needed to begin my journey to recovery. And so, on one hand, it was, especially those first months, were scary. I was separated from my family. I had no idea what my family or my friends were going to think of me when I got home. But I would say that was my wilderness experience, where I finally gave control over to God, and He was able to start doing some work in my life. I would say the first step is to just trust someone. Trust someone. That was something that I wasn't willing to do because of the shame. And I think addiction is all about isolation. And so to me, that's the first step, is talk to somebody that you can trust. And even if they don't know really much about addiction, if they care, I think they'll begin to come alongside you and help you. So I think it is a frightening thing, because the thought of not having that drug of choice, and the fact that you're going to have to try and cope without it, it's impossible to do by yourself. So it does take a community, but I recognize that that community maybe needs to start really small. And I think you'll realize quickly that there's support there, and there's people that are going through the same thing that you are.